Hello everyone. Here's a question on basic algebra. As part of his training, an athlete usually runs 80 kilometers at a steady speed of v kilometers per hour. One day, he decided to reduce his speed by 2.5 kilometers per hour, and his run takes him an extra 2 hours 40 minutes. Now we are asked to derive this equation. So to be able to derive this equation, so the first thing we need to do is to calculate the time it takes the athlete to run 80 kilometers at a usual speed of v kilometers per hour. So when we know the time, then we are also going to do the same thing here, because here we are given that his run takes him an extra 2 hours 40 minutes. So which means we also need to calculate the time it takes the athlete to run 80 kilometers at a reduced speed of 2.5 kilometers per hour. All right, let's see how that can be done. All right, so we have first thing first. So we're given the what? The usual speed. Okay, the usual speed is given in kilometers per hour. So that will be S1. Okay, that will be V, that will be S1 equals to V kilometers per hour. Then the athlete run 80 kilometers. So the distance that's D, that will be 80 kilometers. So now, like I said, we need to first calculate the time it takes the athlete to run 80 kilometers at this speed. So the time taken. So let's write that to be T1. Okay, so T1 is what we need to find out here. And we know from the equation connecting S with D and T. So we know that speed equals to distance over what? Time. So we're using this, okay? So to calculate T1, okay, to calculate T1, we know that T1 will be D divided by S1. So D is what we have here to be 80 kilometers. So we can write T1 to be equals to 80 divided by S1, which is what? V. So this is the time it takes the athlete to run 80 kilometers at a steady speed of v kilometers per hour. So let's call this equation 1. This is equation 1. Okay. Now, one day he decided to reduce his speed by 2.5 kilometers per hour. So which means to do that, now one day, okay, the athletes decided to reduce his speed by 2.5 kilometers per hour. Okay, so the athlete decided to reduce his speed by 2.5 kilometers per hour. So his new speed, that will be S2, will then be equals to V minus 2.5. Remember, the unit of speed is the what? Kilometers per hour. So this is the new speed, all right, of the athlete, okay, because he decided to reduce his speed by 2.5 kilometers per hour. So which means the time it takes the athlete to run 80 kilometers at this reduced speed will be, so let's follow this formula. So that means T2 will be equals to D divided by S2. So it means T2 will be equals to 80 divided by V minus 2.5. So this is the time it takes the athlete to run 80 kilometers at a what? At a reduced speed of V minus 2.5. Okay, so which means we know what T1 is. T1 is equals to 80 divided by V. Then we have T2 to be 80 over what? V minus 2.5. All right. Now here we are given that his run takes him an extra 2 hours 40 minutes. So that means we are given what we call extra time. So the extra time will be when we know between between T2 and T1. That will give us 2 hours 40 minutes. So we're also giving a what? Extra time. So the extra time given, let's make that T, okay, and that is 2 hours 40 minutes. So, and the extra time will be equals to T2 minus T1. So what is T? What is T? 2 hours 40 minutes. And that will be 2. So 2 hours 40 minutes will be 2 hours plus 40 divided by 60. We need to convert that to what? Hours. Then let's write the expression for T2 here. So we are giving T2 here to be what? 80 over V minus 2.5. This, which is our equation 2 here. That's equation 2. Then minus 80 divided by what? V. So let's reduce this. This becomes 2 hours plus 2 over 3 hours equals to 80 divided by, of course, we know that this will be V minus 5 over 2. 2.5 is same thing as 5 over 2. Alright, so minus 80 over what? V. Now this becomes 2 whole number, 2 over 3 hours. And this becomes 80 divided by 2V minus 5 over what? Over 2 minus 80 over what? Over V. Now let's change this to improper fraction. So this becomes 8 over 3. Okay, so that's 8 over 3. Alright, so we have 8 over 3 equals to 80. Let's not forget that the unit here is also what? Hours. So this will cancel out. So we'll be left with 8 over 3 equals to, now, remember when we flip this fraction, these two will multiply the numerator, which is 80, and that becomes 160. So this will be 160 divided by 2V minus 5, then minus 80 over V. Correct. So remember, we want to derive this equation. 80 over V plus 8 over 3 equals to 160 over 2V minus 5. So that means I will have to move this from the right hand side to the left hand side. So we have 80 over V plus 8 over 3. Okay, and that will be equals to 160 divided by 2V minus 5. And this is the equation. Okay, that's the equation. Now, we are also asked to solve it to find the value of V. So let's find the value of V. All right. Now, to find the value of V, we have the equation here, which is 80 over V plus 8 over 3 equals to 160 over 2V minus 5. Now, let's observe this equation and see how we can reduce the equation, so that we won't have to won't have to stress ourselves in trying to get the value of V. All right, so when we look at the equation, we have 80 as the numerator for this, 8 as the numerator, and we also have 160. So let's divide the equation by 8. So when this equation is divided by 8, okay, this becomes 10 over V plus 1 over 3, and this becomes 20 over what? 2V minus 5. That's it. Okay, now then we can reduce the left hand side. Let's reduce the left hand side. The left hand side becomes, so this will be 3 times 10, that's 30, plus V over 3V equals to 20 over 2V minus 5. So here we need to cross multiply. Let's cross multiply. So that this will be 30 times 2V, that will be 60V. 30 multiplied by -5, that will be minus 150. V times 2V, that will be 2v squared. That's when we use what we call FOIL. Okay, then v multiplied by -5, that will be minus 5v. That will be minus 5v. Okay, so that will be equals to 20 times 3v. That will be 60v. That will be 60v. All right, so now, in this case, let's write this as that's a standard form. So we're going to have 2v squared. Then here we have 60v minus, so 60 minus 60, that will be 0. Then this will be minus 5v, then minus 150 equals to 0. All right, so now we have a quadratic equation. All right, to be able to solve this quadratic equation, now let's make use of the formula method. So we're looking for the value of v. So v will be equals to negative b plus or minus square root of b squared, okay, minus 4ac over 2a. So which means the value of a is b is what? 2. B will be what? Minus 5. And then c will be minus 150. So we have v equals to minus -5 plus or minus the square root of minus 5 squared, okay, minus 4 times a. A is what? 2. Then multiply by minus 150. So all over 2 times 2. So we have v to be equals to 5 plus or minus the square root of, so 5 squared will be 25. So this is 150 times 4, that's 600, okay? 600 times 2, that will be 1,200 all over 4. 1,200 plus 25. So this will be v equals to 5 plus or minus 1225 divided by 4. What is the square root of 1225? That's 35. So the first value of v will be 5 plus 35 divided by 4, or v2 will be equals to 5 minus 35 over 4. So that v1 will be equals to, this is 40 divided by 4, or v2 equals to -30 over 4. So the value of v1 is 10 kilometers per hour, okay? Then we have v2 to be equals to negative, so when we divide this by, that's 15 over, that will be -7.5 kilometers per hour. Now, the value of v must be positive, not negative. So the answer to the question is 10 kilometers per hour. Like I said, it must be positive. So the only answer here which satisfies this equation is v equals to 10 kilometers per hour, which is the value of the speed, okay, the velocity, okay, the speed, the steady speed of v kilometers per hour. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Bye bye.